Alright, in this lesson, we're going to be covering how to use the spring type for the hinge.
Okay.
So, I mean, in the last lesson, we did kind of skim over it.
Sure.
But I kind of want to show you how to use it because it's a very powerful tool, and not covering it is kind of a shame.
Cool.
So, let's create another room and create sort of a trapdoor effect with something rolling down and it kind of tumbling through it and bouncing back and forth, that kind of thing.
Okay, I think I see what you mean. Go ahead and start setting it up, and it'll probably become clear as we go.
Okay. So let's create another room on the side here. Let's create our brush. Let's drag it over here. Not our that. Let's just take this brush, drag it over here. Just want to create a little doorway first. Since we have snapping on, it should work really good. It's kind of a bigger doorway than I'm thinking, but it'll work.
So you're adjusting a few size parameters again?
Yeah, just adjusting a little bit.
Okay.
Not going to get carried away this time.
I believe you.
Sure you do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move up the height just a little bit. Don't want to kind of drag it on the floor.
Right.
Okay, that's kind of cool. That's kind of a nice hallway. So let's dig that guy out. Kind of sticks on the default texture, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? Let me just undo that quick because I just noticed that I had it a little bit in too far. That's a lot better. So let's create another brush. Let's make this guy really, well, we want it quite a bit high. So let's set this to 512. Let's set the width to, well, let's set this to 512 too, and this guy to 256.
Okay.
We build that guy. Actually, my bad. Let's change this to 256 and 512 without the plus sign.
Well, at least you caught it before you actually created it this time. You're getting better. I gotta give you that.
Well, thank you, Zach. So let's move that guy up, and you'll see we kind of will have a kind of long room with a fairly high ceiling so that we can stage our effect.
Okay.
So let's dig this guy out. And actually, you know, that's looking pretty cool. And let's start actually placing our stuff in our scene.
Sure.
So let's go to our static mesh browser. And we already have the Scorch Bridge A up. That's in our Abaddon hardware.
Abaddon, that's right.
Yeah. So since that's selected, let's close out our static mesh browser.
Okay.
And move over here and just move up a little bit. So it's going to a barrel. We're going to duplicate a barrel and have it slide down and create the effect we're looking for.
Okay.
So let's first create a regular static mesh. We don't want like gravity affecting it, so we'll just keep it at just as a static mesh.
Sure.
Let's rotate this guy around. And let's kind of scale it down a little bit. It does not need to be that big.
Right, 'cause that's a pretty big mesh we got there.
Yes, definitely. Maybe something around like that. Let's kind of squeeze it down a little bit. A little bit smaller. I'm kind of liking that. Let's move this guy into place. That's kind of looking good. You know, the height is a little bit too high, so let's go over here and set it to 0.25.
So you're going to thin him out a little bit?
Yeah, just a bit. And you know what? Let's turn it just a little bit so that we can have a sort of incline,
a slope.
A slope, yeah. So let's kind of go over here, move this to the back is kind of good. And let's just rotate this guy. Hey, wrong axis. Let's change to our rotate. And let's get this guy rotated.
Maybe the other direction.
That's a good idea.
There
so that's kind of an incline.
There we go.
So it's going to roll down. Let's quickly grab one of our barrels. Again, this is just going to be a really cool example of how to create springs and how to use springs efficiently.
Okay.
So let's create this barrel over here. Kind of line him up a little bit. And again, we'll rotate him. And right about like that. Grab our move tool. Well, sort of our move tool.
Yeah.
And let's pull him up all the way to the top here so that he can have a nice start. Kind of sticking to the ceiling, almost.
No, it looks like he fits in there pretty nicely.
Yeah, he's actually fitting there pretty nice. Let's just move this down a little bit, just to make me more comfortable.
Okay. Long as you're comfortable, that's what matters.
Yeah, I know. So, that guy's up there. We wanted to start falling down and kind of hitting a series of of different trapdoors, if you will.
Okay.
So let's kind of duplicate this guy over. Well, actually, this is a static mesh, and we want these guys to be actors.
Sure.
Characters. So we already have it selected on our static mesh browser. So let's go and right-click and add a Karma actor. Again, that's going to be very huge, so we're going to have to...
it's a pretty big mesh.
Let's make sure... Well, let's just check our values and copy them over. That's actually going to be faster. And let's copy this one over. Excuse me, this guy. That's kind of nice. And we know the next one is 0.25. We're going to be changing them a little bit, but
that'll at least get us started.
That's right. Let's rotate this guy around. Right about like that. He's definitely a little bit too wide. So let's move this down to maybe 0.3. Yeah, maybe still a little bit too much. Maybe 0.25. That's kind of nice.
There we go.
And let's move this. Actually, let's zoom out a little bit. Come over here. This is a good place to set up our simulation. So we want it to roll down, hit this one, hit another one below it, and kind of have a nice little effect there.
Okay.
So let's move this guy down to about... I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. So it's Shift-D.
Mm-hmm. And
then create another one right about there.
Yeah, move him back up against the wall. There you go.
And let's see. Let's create another one. Let's create maybe 3 like... Actually, that's looking really good.
I was going to say, I don't know if we can fit another one in there.
No, I don't think so.
Looks like that's probably going to be it.
Right. Let's try to space it out just a little bit more because we want room for it to actually bend.
Sure.
Let's drag this guy down. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool.
Okay.
Maybe up one little bit. That's kind of nice. And finally, why don't we just move this guy in and stretch these guys down a little bit because we want room for them to... We're going to be hinging them right on this axis right here, so we want them to have enough room to arc down. So let's make it just a little bit smaller. Maybe 0.22. Maybe all the way down to 0.2. I know. So let's go down here, change all of these to 0.22.
Okay.
And change the last guy to 0.22. Now that's going to be a pretty cool effect. Let's move this guy up.
Yeah, if we get all those to spring open, that should look pretty neat.
Yeah. So let's go into our actor browser, and go down to K-Actor, K-Constraint, and let's select the K-Hinge, just like we did before.
Okay.
And let's right-click and add K-Hinge here. So let's move this guy into position. And we'll rotate him around because we want it to hinge on that axis like that.
Yeah, we need him to point down the axis we're going to be hinging on.
Right. So let's get it right about there.
Okay.
And let's set the properties up for this guy so that it looks right here, and then the rest will just be pretty easy.
Sure.
So let's set up the K constraint, and let's find this guy right there. Sometimes it has a hard time recognizing it. No big problem. Just click it again. Alright, so there we have it. And let's set the damping to something like 0.4.
Okay.
And let's actually set the stiffness to something rather fairly high because we want it to really bounce back into position.
Sure.
So actually that's looking really good. I think that's it, except for one important thing. And we need to set this to HD Springy.
Okay.
So I'll spring back and forth, give it a cool effect. And with that, let's copy this guy. Actually duplicate him, whichever you want to say. And move this guy over to maybe here. And duplicate him again. And copy him all the way over to here. Let's get him back into position. So now everyone has one, but we need to go in and quickly change which one they're referencing, which one they're constraining.
Right.
So let's clear this guy and find the one we're kind of inside right now. And go down to this guy and select him to be selecting the right guy. Be constraining the right person.
I gotcha.
Alright, so there we have it. And last thing, we want this barrel to kind of roll down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of important that we set the friction a bit higher. Because right now, if we go into our barrel properties down to K-params, Karma parameters, we'll see that down to Karma parameters collision, we'll see our friction's only like 0.2. So it's still going to slide a bit.
Sure.
We want it to really have that whole rolling effect. So let's set this up to like 0.5.
Okay.
And let's exit that out. And that's really going to do it except for the ugly textures and the light. So let's quickly add that in. Add one light there. And let's just open our texture browser. Let's go to which ones we're using. And let's set these up to the ones we've been using. So let's go over here, select another one, select all the walls, and choose the one that we've been using. Go to our ceiling, and choose that one. And go to our ground, our floor.
Sure.
And select that one. Just select these two as well. I know it's not crucial, but it looks so much nicer.
Yeah, it's really a quick thing, too. So.
Yeah, it doesn't really take that much effort at all. Alright, so that kind of sets it up. You know...
It's such a big room, you might want to actually throw another light in there.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Let's quickly do that. You know, you're probably right. Just a little bit brighter would be very nice. So, why don't we put one near the ground level?
That sounds like a plan to me.
And let's move this guy over just a little bit. To maybe there.
Okay.
And let's generate our light maps.
That's much better.
Yes, that's pretty nice. So let's look up here. And we're going to make sure that our thing doesn't start out immediately. So let's go into our parameters. And let's go down to our K-start enable, and that is false. So that's exactly what we want.
Exactly. So now we can shoot him to actually get him going.
That's right.
Cool.
So why don't we check this out and see if it works. So let's play the map, and just wait for it to load up.
All right.
Waiting. So let's see if this works. Almost there. Now let's just go in here and start the reaction. So let's shoot our object. You'll see that it's rolling down. Oh, look at that. That's actually kind of an interesting effect.
That is.
So maybe we need to turn down the stiffness just a little bit to give it more of a not-so-stiff effect.
Right.
So let's exit out. And let's go into here. And let's go to each of our springs. Our hinges, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are springs.
Right, they're spring-type hinges.
Right.
So you were right both times.
Yeah. So let's set that. Just want to be accurate.
Yeah.
So let's set this to something like 80. That should, that's almost half. That should be really good looking. Let's add that up to 80.
Okay.
And let's play that out and see how it looks. Now, load really fast. It's all good.
And here we go.
3, 2, 1. Alright, here we are. And let's go and shoot our barrel, and let's see if it looks a bit better.
And it definitely falls through all three doors. That is pretty cool. I like that.
And you'll notice that we set the friction really high, so, it makes sense.
Sure.
Our friction...
The more friction, the less the barrel's going to slide, so it's actually going to have to roll for gravity to have any effect on it.
That's right.
Just like if you were to take a real barrel and put it on a slope, you know?
Right. So let's exit this out real quick, and let's go back into Unreal Ed, and just check out some of these parameters so that we make sure we understand everything that's going on. Let's go into here, Karma Constraint, and you'll see that we are showing the damping, and that really works.
Mm-hmm.
It's slowing it down so that it goes back into position.
Right. And
kind of resists change, as we were saying before.
Mm-hmm.
And we set this up to HT Springy, and we got the stiffness up to about 80. So, that really wraps up this lesson. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew how to use the Springy.
Okay.
Because, it's important. Because
right. It does produce some really cool effects, that you can really tweak out and do some interesting things with. I'm almost interested to see, maybe if we could crank the springiness back up and move that last ramp over. So we can make things actually kind of look like they're launching the barrel and less like it's getting out of its way.
Right. Okay.
But, that's just me.
You want to do that quick?
Cool. Why don't we?
All right. So let's go over here, and let's set the stiffness up higher.
Okay.
Let's just open up our properties, go under Karma Constraint, and let's set the stiffness back up to 150 maybe.
Okay.
Now let's go over to this one, and let's actually select
So it's actually
the
the
hinge.
stiffness that is controlling how hard this door is going to be springing back.
That's right.
Okay.
So let's go over here, and let's select this last one. And let's set this to 150 as well.
And if I remember, you might want to take that last door down there and kind of move it closer to the far wall.
All right. So
maybe just a little bit.
So let's select that guy and just Move them over a little bit.
Maybe a little more than that.
All right. Maybe even a little bit more.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Remember to move the hinge, too, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of important.
Yeah. Right now it really wouldn't be hinging too well.
It would actually not hinge.
It would, but it would hinge from the wrong place.
And that wouldn't do us any good.
Right, that's not going to help at all.
So what it's going to do is come down and bounce off of this guy, bounce onto this guy over here, and kind of fly over to this one.
That's going to be cool.
Yes, it is. So let's run this map real quick. See how it looks.
Okay.
Here it's coming. It's actually a lot of fun to play with all these settings. I mean, you can come up with so many cool effects. I just picked up that gun, but we're not really going to use it.
And we're rolling, and pow, pow. Oh, you had that kind of spin angle when you first started up.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can reload the level real quick. Let's just see what we can do.
All right, so let's just exit out and make sure this is looking pretty good. Maybe I'm just going to move it over just a little bit. Excuse that. Let's select this guy. And go over to here, and maybe move that over just a little bit.
It looked like when you shot your barrel, you just kind of gave it an initial rotation.
Yeah.
Because you struck it at just the right point to spin it a little bit.
Or just the wrong point.
Or just the wrong point, as you might look at it. Maybe just when you shoot it, just see if you can get like right in the center or something, so you don't really change that rotation too much.
So let's look at this guy. Actually, it's
testing your sharpshooting
really
skills.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's go over here. Let's actually just get over here a little bit. Let's make sure that we get the right angle this time. Shoot it from here. And it seems I did it yet again.
Oh, check it out.
We kind of stopped it because you have to remember that if you shoot at a wrong angle...
Well, see, this is the cool thing, though, because you're actually working with a real dynamic simulation.
That's right. So let's actually switch to our weapon back here. Let's grab him.
Okay.
And let's blast him away. Just hopefully getting him moving a little bit.
I'm thinking a shot combo might help.
Yeah,
if you had time to pull one up, up, up.
Oh, actually,
Check it out.
That was pretty cool.
You just need brute force, man. If you can't solve a problem with brute strength, it's not worth solving.
That's right. So actually, that was a pretty cool effect.
That was pretty cool.
It actually bounced it from the one ledge over here over to this one and bounced it off.
It's like we're building our own mousetrap inside of Unreal.
That's right. Man, you could do some unbelievable stuff.
I know, we're giving people such power, when they're creating their own levels, when they're doing their mods. I mean, it's great, the kind of things that people are going to be able to pull off now.
It is really amazing. So with that, I mean, that really wraps up this lesson. We really got to see how the Springy works.
Right, we showed how to adjust it, how to tweak it, both, down and back up. We showed how to take, your springs and then, adjust your actors so that they're actually behaving the way you need them to for your simulation.
That's right.
If you need a specific effect.
So really with that wraps up this lesson.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.